Morning. It's about 10 o'clock in the morning. I'm up here at Shelter Cove. Came up to get we're going to fly the coast up here to Eureka and then go back home. Camera batteries don't last, especially the external camera where I can't change the battery, don't last long enough to leave the cameras on all the way from Rancho Marietta to here. So what I've done is come in and landed at Shelter Cove and got out and turned on the cameras. My approach into Shelter Cove, about 5 miles south of here, not the worst turbulence I've ever had in a Husky. It was at about 1,000 feet and it was bouncing the aircraft all over. But then I came on down and flew over the runway at 500 feet here to see what it would be like, and it's okay. So I came back around and made the landing, and it actually wasn't too bad. So with that, I'm getting ready to get everything ready for takeoff. Here we go. Here is full rich. Bob's full forward. Carburetor heat's cold. The gas is on. Got the strobes pulsing and everything, and the cameras are on. So out of Shelter Cove. Shelter Cove traffic. Husky 3 Golf Tango's taxiing out for a departure on runway 30 at Shelter Cove. On our flight on up to Eureka, coming in here with any indication, we may get some really big bounces. Don't know. We're hoping that we don't, actually. The filming will be a lot nicer if we're just getting normal flying conditions. Okay, so the lights are all on, the gas is on, the mixtures are rich. Shelter Cove traffic, Husky 3 Golf Tango departing 30. Pointed uphill, because if we get any of those really wild turbulence, don't want to get them near the ground. About 640 feet. Go ahead and bring the power back here. For like 20 some odd inches. Power, and then we'll wind the prop back. Off we go up the coast, If it gets, I'm hoping it isn't nearly as exciting ride as coming in here. There was a little bit what it coast. Obviously a beautiful ride. Trying to get the props back to where it belongs, get the power to where it belongs. Power back up a little bit. Out here. Look at the beautiful coast and the cameras. No bird sanctuaries or fish sanctuaries around here, so
caution, terrain.
Pointed a little in too far at the shore. I'll come off a little bit. Start getting any of the real bumps, I'll climb on up, but not getting any wild bumps like down here. So I think it's a beautiful ride. If, like say, if it was a smooth ride, it would be absolutely perfect, but one wild ride coming into Shelter Cove. I hopefully don't want to repeat that on camera on flight. Such a wild ride. I have a inReach up here above me that's letting the family know where I am at all times if they don't get ADSB off the radio systems, and came out of its case and dropped on the floor as we were approaching Shelter Cove. So if it was smooth, I'd go on down to about 500 feet, but running about 800 feet here, I don't want to get too big a bump too close to the ground. But it is a fun flight along this coast if we have a nice...
Caution. Terrain.
Okay.
Terrain.
Nose is pointing
Caution.
a little too far.
Terrain. Terrain. Caution. Terrain. Terrain. Caution. Terrain. Caution. Terrain. Terrain. Warning. Terrain.
Just because
Terrain.
we're
Caution.
flying by it
Warning.
over here on the right.
Terrain. Caution. Terrain. Terrain. Caution. Terrain. Terrain.
Like I mentioned, I'm at about 800 feet. We're offshore, probably another 400 or 500. No, heck. 500 feet, probably 600 feet. So we're well clear of bothering anybody on the ground. Oh, it's a beautiful flight, if you know. I'd always wanted to see this part of the coast. The last time I did this flight was probably the late 70s in a little tail dragger like this from Los Angeles. It's been a long time ago. Here we come around one of the points here. Cases the water looks almost probably land in there. In fact, that could be a landing strip there. The owners of that, there's a place we just flew by, but obviously I don't really know. Looks like a straight kind of road for some distance, but some places means it's a landing strip. Could just be the road along the coast. You get to see a little bit of the ride I got coming into Shelter Cove. Got the aircraft at a good speed, and maximum design maneuvering speed is 98 knots, and I'm below 98 knots, so it's not like we're doing anything the airplane can't take, but it's not a comfortable ride when you're getting that kind of bumps. I'm going to start on uphill a little bit. I don't like to be too close to the surface when I'm getting that kind of violence in the air. Smooths out, I'll go back down a little lower, but you're getting up and down drafts that are more than 1,000 feet a minute, staying at 500 feet doesn't give you much time to get clear of it. There at 1200 it seems smooth right now. Coming into Shelter Cove, I was at about 1,500 feet when giving me the, yeah, there you go. All right. Like everything else in life, you take the bumps with the smooth. Obviously, we got the bumps here. Look at the water, and it looks a little smoother along here, which says to me maybe there are some white caps out there, but it doesn't seem. Garmin 600 shows I got 23 knots of wind coming off about my 1 o'clock here. But as they come through these little canyons, you get the air tumbling around and stuff, so it gives you a ride that's not what you actually planned on. Why it's sometimes best to fly these kind of adventures by yourself, because a lot of people wouldn't enjoy this. Yes, I would say I don't enjoy it, but it doesn't scare me. Got the airplane slowed way down, and I'm not doing anything exciting with the aircraft airframe, and like I mentioned, 500 feet in smooth air, looking at the shoreline for potential landing places isn't bad, but when you got turbulence that are giving you more than 1,000 feet vertically, you sure don't want to be at 500 feet of the water unless you're a lot braver than I am. You know the old saying, there's brave pilots and there's old pilots, but there's no old brave pilots. So that's one of those I follow. Still a beautiful ride even at 1,500 feet as far as the scenery. That's just telling me we bumped up a couple hundred feet. Now we're coming back down to the altitude. This isn't going to be all that long a video because we're going. We got about 22 minutes more till I get to the absolute turn point, and. But it'll probably be under 30 minutes. If you're interested in kind of looking at the coastline, guess you could do it using Google Earth or with no commentary, or Ride with me with some commentary added in. A lot of times I take pictures using my iPhone, but it's actually so bumpy that I don't want to be my hands off the controls like you do when playing with a handheld camera. Actually smooth compared to the ride into Shelter Cove. Might be hard to tell it's smooth. bit of Chicken Little though, because it's smooth here, I could drop right back down, but having experienced so much of the turbulence, not anxious to get that close to the water again. A lot of whitecaps out there. Thinks the wind is out of the north at 22 knots right now. About 25 miles an hour.
Caution. Terrain. Terrain.
This is stuff going off by on the wing. As you can tell, I'm letting back down. I've gotten to somewhat smoother.
Caution. Terrain. Terrain. Caution. Terrain. Terrain.
Just because I'm pointing in toward the shoreline, as soon as we turn back out to the ocean, we'll get to the warnings. We're seeing some kelp down there. 200 of my 500 I put out. I was seeing some kelp down there and I thought it was a whale or something, but it's kelp floating on the...
Caution. Terrain. Terrain. Caution. Terrain. Terrain. Warning. Terrain. Warning. Terrain. Caution. Terrain. Terrain. Caution.
As I turn left
Terrain.
there a little farther,
Terrain.
lose the warnings and cautions. Wonder where I would go if the engine quit. I'm gliding distance of the shoreline here. Wouldn't be
Caution. Terrain. Terrain.
It wouldn't be a smooth landing, but it would be a survivable one. Nobody along there on the beach, so it's like endangering anybody. Looks like the cameras are still recording, what I was hoping. One of my films or the videos a few months ago, I didn't have the cameras on out of going up the coast from San Francisco. Turn around and go back and fly the same terrain. Actually, because it was in the evening, it was a better shot coming south than going northbound this morning. Morning, it's better to be going northbound. On and behind. Right in there, try and make it, living that beach isn't too soft, try and make it nice. Obviously, it's neat. Trying to do it for one of it is knowing how hard and soft that sand is. Something orange over there almost looks like a windsock. Maybe it's a highway construction sign.
Caution. Terrain. Terrain. Caution. Terrain. Caution. Terrain. Terrain.
Nice thing about the road along the coast there is there doesn't seem to be any power poles, so that would make for a much better day if we had to use the road. Might even get the little toy down without any damage. Drifted up to about 800 feet because we're getting more bumps, as you can notice. Scenic drive along the coast. Up we're doing, well, we got a lot of headwinds, so we're only doing about 100 miles an hour. What you pay for looking at the beauty. 100 miles an hour is still passing cars on the road, okay, so. I haven't seen any whales so far. There's some rocks out there, so they're just below the surface. They keep giving off a wave, and so I was thinking maybe that was a whale, but probably not even the time of year to see them. Obviously knowledgeable. And I like to stay away from the roads.
Caution. Terrain. Terrain. Caution. Terrain. Terrain.
Talking about this big rock
Caution.
here.
Terrain. Caution. Terrain. Terrain.
I have to work at it to actually
Caution.
hit it.
Terrain. Terrain. Caution. Terrain. Terrain. Warning. Terrain. Terrain. Warning. Caution. Warning. Terrain. Terrain. Warning. Terrain. Terrain.
Well, I thought this was a really fun trip along here. Like that there's some beach, so the bush plane and can be landed on flowing right a couple hundred feet, but by me probably 500 feet. Has big tires on it, so we're lucky the sand wasn't too wet. We found successfully.
Caution. Terrain. Terrain.
Wasn't for the cows grazing, it actually looks like what could pass for a runway over on my right, but cows wouldn't be enjoyable. Rock out to the west of us there, or to the left, is obviously not inhabited, so I don't mind flying between it and the shoreline here. Waves breaking.
Caution. Terrain. Terrain. Caution. Terrain. Terrain. Caution. Terrain. Terrain. Caution. Terrain. Terrain. Caution. Terrain. Terrain.
If you weren't as low as we were, you could actually get up on the top of the bluff over there, the engine quit, but we're a little low. Back to having some places along the shoreline we can land.
Caution. Terrain. Terrain. 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 Warning. Terrain. Caution. Terrain. Terrain. Caution. Terrain. Terrain. Caution. Terrain.
Sorry about
Terrain.
all that.
Caution. Terrain. Terrain. 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 Caution. Terrain. Warning. Terrain. 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 Terrain. Warning.
Looks like a
Terrain.
building
Terrain.
sunk into the sand here.
Warning. Terrain. Terrain. 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 Warning. Terrain. Terrain.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I think we saw a really nice view of the coast along here, so I'm gonna go ahead and head toward Rancho Marietta. Our end, bring the prop up some, and we'll start a nice climb up to